Time is not a river to be dammed, but a current to be joined, not a mountain to be conquered, but a dance partner waiting for you to find the rhythm. And that is the thought for today. Welcome to 7 Good Minutes. I'm Clyde Lee Dennis. Thanks for joining me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. In today's episode of 7 Good Minutes, we talk about mastering your time and flow-based strategies for effortless productivity. Enjoy. There's a rhythm to life that we often fight against instead of flowing with. You've felt it before, those moments when everything seems to click into place, when tasks flow seamlessly from one to the next, when time feels abundant rather than scarce. This isn't luck or coincidence. This is what happens when we align our time management with our natural rhythms and energy patterns. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how to create better flow in your daily schedule, and you'll have practical strategies to transform time from something that controls you into something that serves your highest priorities and deepest sense of purpose. Most of us have been taught to think about time management as a battle to be won, a series of tasks to be conquered, a schedule to be dominated. We fill every moment, squeeze productivity from every hour, and wonder why we feel exhausted and scattered. But what if the secret to better time management isn't about doing more, but about flowing better? Think about water moving down a river. It doesn't fight against the rocks. It finds the path of least resistance while still reaching its destination. It pools when it needs to gather strength, rushes when the path is clear, and always moves with purpose. This is the kind of relationship we can develop with our time. Flow-based time management begins with understanding your natural energy rhythms. You have times of day when your mind is sharp and focused, and times when you're better suited for gentler, more creative tasks. Instead of forcing yourself to do deep work when your energy is low, or trying to be creative when your mind craves structure, you learn to match your tasks to your natural rhythms. Consider the concept of energy blocks rather than time blocks. Instead of saying, "I'll work on this project from 2 to 4, you might say, "I'll tackle this challenging task during my peak energy window." This subtle shift changes everything. You're no longer fighting against your natural state, you're working with it. Another powerful strategy is the practice of transition rituals. Most of us jump from task to task without pause, carrying the mental residue of one activity into the next. But when you create small rituals between activities, even something as simple as taking 3 deep breaths or writing down one thing you accomplished, you clear your mental space and arrive fully present to what comes next. There's also profound wisdom in understanding the difference between urgent and important. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention but may not move you toward your deeper goals. Important tasks align with your values and long-term vision but rarely scream for attention. Flow happens when you protect time for the important while managing the urgent with grace and efficiency. Consider implementing what I call buffer zones in your schedule. These are small pockets of unscheduled time that act as shock absorbers for the unexpected. Instead of packing your day so tightly that any disruption throws everything off balance, you build in flexibility. This isn't wasted time, it's the space that allows everything else to flow smoothly. The practice of single tasking is another gateway to better flow. When you give your full attention to one thing at a time, you enter a state of presence that naturally increases both your efficiency and your satisfaction. Multitasking might feel productive, but it's actually a form of attention fragmentation that prevents you from accessing your deeper capabilities. There's also something beautiful about learning to say no with grace. Every yes to something that doesn't align with your priorities is a no to something that does. When you become selective about your commitments, you create space for the things that truly matter to flow into your life. Remember that rest isn't the opposite of productivity, it's an essential component of sustainable flow. Just as a river needs quiet pools to gather strength, you need periods of rest and reflection to maintain your energy and clarity. This isn't laziness, it's wisdom. The goal isn't to control every moment of your day, but to create conditions where your natural productivity and creativity can emerge. When you stop fighting against time and start flowing with it, you discover that you have more time than you thought, more energy than you imagined, and more capacity for the things that truly matter. As you move through your day, remember that time is not your enemy to be conquered, but your partner in creating a life of meaning and purpose. When you approach your schedule with the same grace and wisdom that water approaches a riverbed, you find that everything begins to flow with greater ease and deeper satisfaction. That does it for today's episode of 7 Good Minutes. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on the platform you're listening on. Until next time, let's be civil to one another out there. Thanks for listening. If today's episode resonated with you, I've created something to help you take the next small step. I've put together a series of better habit guides designed for people who feel behind in life and want a simple, practical reset without overwhelm. You can explore all of them at 7goodminutes.com/guides. That's 7goodminutes.com/guides.